Very good. Welcome to a new video of iSocial Web. I'm Luis Fernandez, and we continue with the series of videos of artificial intelligence applied to SEO and websites with a video that I think you will find very useful. Both webmasters, SEO's agency, and the usual audience of this channel, and the nicheros. You may have your niches of affiliation, or Amazon, AdSense, or any other means of display. So in this video, what I'm going to show you is a very simple screen that I intend to give you an idea that this is possible to do, that this is easy to do, and that you can adapt it to your projects. As always, quite easy to program everything, and if you do not know, you always have ChatGPT at hand to help you to adapt the code to your use cases. What we are going to do is to take, in this case, Scrapeyar, reviews from the competition or from a website that is not ours. If it is our website, we can simply download them and use a CSV and upload it directly and save the scraping part. And we are going to use GPT, in this case version, that fulfills perfectly and is much cheaper and faster, but we could use GPT-4 or the future version that comes out in not so much because it is very fast. And we're going to ask you to summarize it for us, and what we're going to get is a list of pros and cons based on real user reviews. This is perfect both to make affiliate articles with product reviews and to expand the product descriptions of our e-commerce based on user reviews that often are paginated or are hidden or simply not. It is also very useful to populate e-commerce in which we work a product that has our competition and we want to add it and we want to leave a description. Then we can check the competition, extract their reviews, and there we have a description based on real opinions. All these cases can always be applied casuistically. You can always give it a twist, but well, I'll show you the code and see how it looks, and I leave it in your hands so you can create super cool things for sure. As we always work in Colab, it will be linked in the video description. I'm not going to go too much into the code, but basically we are going to use two libraries, TikToken, to count the tokens and to be able to limit it and not go over an OpenAI. We import everything. Here you have to enter the data. Here you enter your API. Here you select the model. Here you select the maximum number of tokens. Remember that GPT-Digest, for example, has about 4,048, I think I remember, of maximum tokens. And you have to allow time, leave some room for the response as well. And well, for the response and for the system input. And then here you enter directly your URL that you want to scrape. I have chosen Zoman because it is a super big web. It is an e-commerce. The truth is that it is a great e-commerce, and I have chosen my Dalton guitar sales and I have chosen this product. As you can see, we go down here and we have the reviews. On top of Zoman, there are very well written reviews. The musicians really care a lot about the content. Here you can choose Zoman. In this case, the scrapping is prepared for Zoman, but you can easily adapt it to Amazon or any other e-commerce if you want to scrape PC components or whatever. And what I say, if you use your store, you can skip all this part of scraping. Here is marked as scrapping. Simply upload in a CSV or upload directly the reviews and adapt it with the reviews of your product. Once we have the URL, we are going to mark some headers. If you want to do this more, I recommend you to use proxies and a headers generator, or even a library like Apify or similar to manage all this. Another important thing is that if you scrape Amazon, it can block you. It is quite fast blocking. Any use of bots, especially in this case that we use Beautiful Soup, which is not the most complex crawler and does not mimic any type of search engine or anything. If you use Selenium and a couple of proxies, you can scrape as much as you want. Here we have a couple of useful functions. Get the HTML, the product, the reviews. We get the HTML of the page that we could see here. If we give him to code level, you see that if we print what would be sub, we get all the HTML. Here keep in mind also that this is a crawler. It does not generate any type of browser. If you want to scrape pages that have JavaScript, you have to use a crawler that is able to render JavaScript. Once the HTML is rendered or the HTML is downloaded, we are simply left with the product and the reviews. As you can see, the product name is as simple as the H1 can be. This will be useful in most of the websites that are well done because they usually have a H1, and if they have more than one, we will keep the first one. And the reviews, depending on the website, are going to be something unique. you can use ChatGPT and you can ask him. For example, here, if you don't know how to program very well, you see that we have all the reviews here. I can do a fdos or an inspect, and I can go seeing here that the reviews, we are staying with the selector this. It is not necessary neither to go for the code, and we can see that the reviews, thus it is going to leave. Review test is the text that they have. So if you look here, what we are looking for is a div with the review test class. Maybe in your example page in which you want to use review test, instead of review test, it is simply review or something similar. You can adapt it. Yes, that there are casuistries, but I believe that with a little dedication and ChatGPT, you can do it easily. Once all that is done, I have left here a series of prints so that it is clear what you are doing. You can see that these are the reviews. 4 reviews have been extracted, and this is the name of the product. And then we do the typical OpenAI call. In this case, we are going to count the number of tokens. These are little complex functions. They are taken from the TikTok documentation that we don't need to go a little bit adapted. You don't need to understand. Just know that they return the number of tokens for a stream and for messages. And what we are going to do is to limit it. I have put that by default. It limits it to 1000, but we are going to take the 2000 that we have marked above. And what we do is not to exceed, not to send it. Imagine that the reviews are super long. We do not want to send 4000 and some, and that the whole prompt is loaded to us. So what we do is we limit them here. And we generate the prompt. We simply format the reviews, and what it is going to do is to generate a prompt that is going to be like this. Let's go down here, and it's this one right here. Summarize the following list of reviews for product name, indicating the pros and cons based on the following reviews, colon. And here's the list of reviews. I have left this here because many times if you learn a big website like Amazon, you will have reviews in several languages. You can do the filtering manually in code, or just add this and trust that 90% of the time it will do it right. It will just leave it in English. Then we make the OpenAI call that, as you know, is super simple. It is simply these 5 lines of code. We put the model that we selected above, in this case the GPT Turbo. Messages is this one here that is simply a system message that you can adapt to your taste, and a prompt that I also recommend you to play a little with it. I have left here the most basic one, but you can specialize it by type of product, type of store, etc. And then we keep the content. We're left with the answer, and this is the answer that he gives us. And you see that for this Harley Benton HBG, he tells us that the price is very affordable, that it is robust and resistant, small and light, easy to handle. You see that the truth that even good service to get started in the world of guitar. They are answers. They are very real pros and cons. And then it is not suitable for very demanding musical genres such as metal. As you can see the truth that this is something super useful. What we're doing is summarizing already real content, so it's not going to make things up. And it generates you a list of pros and cons very well. We could generate a list of questions and answers. We could ask for a recommendation for a buying guide. Here, once you have all the basis, you simply know what you have to create with those reviews. You change the token, not the token, the prompt, and you can do whatever you want. And that's all. I really hope you like it. It is a very powerful tool and it works very well. And if you have any doubts, you have the whole playlist on Social Web's YouTube channel, and we are in the comments to answer you. So greetings and thank you very much.